Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way show. It is 7 p.m. I am back, not 7:30, right? So you guys okay with me? I know I had a couple of 7:30s recently, but now I am back here, 7 p.m. on the Sharpe Way show. As always, please like, comment, share, let people know what we're talking about. You know, a lot of people have been, have been bashing a lot of the states who have been opening up. And it might look terrible, right? Oh my God, states are opening up. Everybody's, going to be in trouble. We've been locked down for about a year now. So the question becomes, if you were a governor who kind of kept your state open, or you didn't have heavy lockdowns, right? California, New York, heavy lockdowns. Texas, Florida, not so much, right? Not as bad when it comes to lockdowns at all. Very different style of leadership. We have a system right now that says, I have to do everything possible to save you. Because if I go out of my way to create all kind of rules and regulations and mandates and people still die, I can say, well, I did everything I could. See, don't be mad at me. And if I do everything I can to lock you down and people don't die, I go, see, it's because of me. So either way, I win. It's a gamble if I'm hands off. It's a gamble if I say, here's the info, guys, gals, go out there, do the right thing. It's a gamble if we do that. You know what the funny part is? It can sometimes pay off. I look at it with even my own businesses I've run, even the Sharpe Way running this, when I ran my campaign in 2018. I'm a very hands-off leader. I give people a lot of leeway to do special things and to create a lot of stuff. And sometimes it fails. And I get smacked around when it fails, of course. But I also get a lot of people who really care about the mission and who do a really good job. And it's amazing how when you give the average person the ability to do well, they do. Very often. Not always, but very often. And I want to bring up something that to me is a little bit amazing. And I have a theory behind this. The people, the governors who gambled are now finding out whether they paid off or not. Florida Governor DeSantis is one of those. CNN, yes, CNN, actually did a relatively good piece on him. Now, I've got a theory that CNN is concerned because Trump is gone, and Trump was big for CNN. I mean, big for ratings for CNN. Trump's not in the media as much, anywhere near as much. So what's CNN going to do? They got to find something else. I feel like they're beginning to try to see if they can shift back from far left to regular left. I think they're trying to go back to, because since Trump, they have not been regular left. They've been far left. And I think they're trying to come back to regular left, which I'm okay with. Good. Awesome. Nice. I'll take that. So let me show you the piece. And boy, people are losing their minds over this. You'll see what I mean. And it isn't that crazy. Well, maybe it is. You tell me if it's that crazy. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this piece, and I'll show you what I mean.
Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who did all he could to keep Florida open and is now getting a second look. So what are the facts? Jeff Zeleny is out front.
If you look at what's happening in South Florida right now, I mean, this place is booming. It would not be booming if it was shut down.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is standing unabashedly tall.
Los Angeles isn't booming. New York City's not booming.
That's true.
It's booming here because you can live like a human being.
A year after the pandemic began,
Look at
Florida
this.
is not only back in business, it's been in business. And the governor's gamble to take a laissez-faire approach to coronavirus appears to be paying off, at least politically, at least.
Now, let me be clear on this. You might say to yourself, well, so what, Larry? It's CNN. So they're reporting this. CNN has not been kind to DeSantis at all. And I'll show you earlier if you want to see. Chris Cuomo tore him to pieces. Well, you'd expect such, but tore him to pieces, right, in the summer, right? They tore him to pieces. How bad he was. Does he care? He hates people. Everybody's going to die. Now they kind of have to go, well, maybe we were wrong.
For now, Florida ranks about in the middle of all states on coronavirus metrics.
Look at this.
More than 32,000 people have died of COVID-19, and the state's per capita death rate ranks 24th. New York is far worse, and California only slightly better.
Look at that. New York, far worse. My governor, who has some of the most stringent lockdowns like California, right? Far worse. And the same as California, Florida had relatively no lockdowns.
Despite stringent lockdowns.
While so many other states kept locking people down over these many months, Florida lifted people up.
DeSantis is standing out among...
All right. Let's not go there. Come on. All right. I get it. You want to take a little victory lap. Don't play yourself. It's fine. Be happy. You were right, but don't go nuts here.
Governors on the front lines of the coronavirus fight, a new measure for politicians of all stripes. He is not facing a potential recall like California Governor Gavin Newsom.
No, they're not trying to recall him, are they? New York, he's about to get impeached, isn't he? Well, at least the inquiry, at least. Yeah. Yes.
Under investigation like New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Yep.
Or being second-guessed for lifting a statewide mask mandate like Texas Governor Greg Abbott. DeSantis refused to implement one of those in the first place.
Yep.
And Florida's unemployment rate is 4.8%.
Employment rate.
Compared to 6.8 in Texas, 8.8 in New York.
Yeah, I see that in New York. 8. I can see that all around me here in New York. California is bad. Double California unemployment rate. In Florida.
And 9 in California.
When he went into office, I wasn't sure what was to expect, but he didn't do anything to hurt me as a business owner or me as a Floridian. So, fine with me.
There we go.
Tom Golden didn't have much of an opinion on DeSantis a year ago. But with the St. Peter...
I want you to look at what that says. He says on his own store, I think that's a restaurant, I think it is, no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service. What's the problem? So he's picking and deciding that he wants that in his store, and that's fine. And again, there's no mandates. He's choosing on his own to do that because he believes it's the right thing. Guess what? People do the right thing most of the time, and they always do what they believe is right. So if you give people information, they'll usually do the right thing. And even if they won't, let's say this guy's a jerk and doesn't care about anything or whatever, fine. If the people around him who are coming in want others to wear masks, he'll make a mask mandate to keep his customer base happy. And that's the right reason. The right reason to wear a mask is because you think it's the right thing. You should do so. If you want to be in an environment that wears masks, you should have stores that go there. And if you want to have stores that don't have masks, you should have that right also. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. They're already doing it.
Petersburg bar and restaurant not only surviving but thriving, he credits the governor.
Look at
Even
that.
as a new test for Florida is looming with spring breakers crowding beaches, so far the state has weathered the pandemic stronger than most experts expected.
Absolutely.
Is it the disaster that some people predicted it would have been?
No, I think everything deserves context. What I'd love to ask about Florida is, if we had done things differently in Florida, what would it have looked like?
Oh, there we go. See, if we'd only done stuff, we never know how awesome we would have been if we had been far more draconian. Yeah. Or you could just go, yeah, maybe I was wrong. You could just go, maybe I was wrong. But no, you won't. You'll go, well, DeSantis bad. I don't know why, but he is. I can't be wrong. You can be wrong. People are wrong. I'm wrong, rarely, but I'm wrong too. You can be wrong too.
Jason Salemi, an epidemiologist at the University of South Florida, said comparing one state to another is complicated, with Florida's humidity, for example, and New York City's density.
And Florida's not humid. I'm sorry. And New York City's not humid. I live in New York City. It's humid. Is Florida not dense? Florida has more people than New York, and it has larger metro areas outside of we have one big metro area in New York. Some of you who may not be in New York don't know this. New York City has about 8.5 million people now, a whole lot less, but had about 8.5 million people. No other city in our state breaks 500,000. Not one. Florida has several cities, particularly metro areas, that break 1 million. Several. I think Florida breaks 3 million. I think Miami breaks 3 million. Metro area. I think that's right. If any Floridians might know, but there's several areas that break 2 or 3 million.
And local ordinances on masks and the sizes of gatherings have also played a role. Now, DeSantis has outraged many city and county officials by trying to take away their authority to put such rules in place. Throughout the pandemic.
So he's saying you don't have a right to order people to do stuff. You can tell them you'd like them to. You can give out free masks. I'm all good with that. I'm totally all good. Give out free masks. People want masks, they'll grab masks. Awesome. You give out free masks. If I'm going to ignore it, I can ignore it. If I want to grab it, I'll grab it. Life is good. Please give out free masks if you want to, individually, because you're a nonprofit who gives out masks. Awesome. No worries. But I think he's right, and he's proving it.
It's that defiant and combative DeSantis.
We've succeeded, and I think that people just don't want to recognize it.
Who has become a darling of many Republicans. He declines most interview requests, appearing only on propaganda programs.
Please come back soon.
Oh, they're all Fox News is all propaganda programs. Okay. I'm glad that's the only thing that's propaganda programs.
We will. Thank you.
Charlie Crist, a Florida congressman and former governor, is among the Democrats thinking about challenging DeSantis for re-election next year.
Now, watch how he has to deal with this, right? Because he knows that the data is against him. Right. He knows he can't just go data. It's impossible. The data is against him. It's clear. Watch this guy try to do some dancing. Watch him.
In hindsight, do you think he deserves any credit for what he did?
Like I said, it's too early to tell. 33,000 of my fellow Floridians are dead.
Oh, 33,000 of my Floridians are dead. There's more than that in New York State that are dead. Is that all Cuomo's fault? There's about 50,000 that are dead in California. Is that Newsom's fault? Right? It's their fault or it's not, is it?
Does he deserve credit for that? Probably not. But could it have been better? Maybe so.
Crist and other.
I agree. And if aliens had come down and gotten rid of the virus through special alien technology, it would have been better also. I think both of those things are true. Which one can we prove? Yeah, neither.
Florida Democrats are calling for a Justice Department investigation into whether DeSantis gave preference to donors after invitation-only vaccination clinics were set up in at least.
Now, hold up. This part I love. So CNN went down the road and said, he's doing all this stuff good. Okay, this is all working. You know what we can get him on? Vaccines. That'll get him. Yeah, we'll get him on vaccines.
2 upscale communities.
Was there preference given to certain Caucasian, wealthy?
You wealthy white people. I was talking about this yesterday when I was being so upset at one side of the aisle and saying that when they have race issues and all kind of problems and everything happens, it always boils down to black man bad. And then I said on the other side, it always boils down to white man bad. And here we go, white man bad. Dude, you're a white guy. I mean, you may not know that, but you're a white guy.
Republican communities in my state, because it certainly looks like it.
A spokesman for the governor called the accusation ridiculous. And has dismissed critics who've accused him of mischaracterizing COVID data. DeSantis campaigned and has governed in the mold of Donald Trump. Now he's seen by many grassroots conservatives as a potential 2024 presidential candidate.
We are an oasis of freedom in a nation that's suffering.
His future, of course, depends on the outcome of the rest of the pandemic. But it's clear he hopes to make that his new calling card.
So, I'm sorry.
Now, the full story of how states handle the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, is still being written as COVID cases rage on. But Aaron, talking to so many voters here, but to one Floridian last night who said her grandchildren in California have not attended school for more than a year.
See that?
She found herself grudgingly praising Governor DeSantis. Not a fan initially, but said it is good that Florida has been reopened.
Look at
Republican
that.
Governor Ron DeSantis, who did all he could to keep Florida open. And
the funny piece here, what I want to bring up here is the responses to this online from people who are so angry. How dare CNN say anything good about our governor? How dare them say anything good? Was shocking on how bad it was. how bad it was. Let me grab a couple of comments if I can. So Joy says, Larry, you got my vote. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that. Yes. Michael says, just in time, need some Sharpe Way. Thank you. Locking horns with PayPal over transaction area. Looking to file civil rights RICO against these corp. Okay, go on, Michael. Do your thing. I love it. John says, living in Florida, our hotels are packed with people fleeing lockdown states. Our Easter rates are through the roof. It's booming. Florida is rocking and rolling. You're right. And they're all fleeing, going from like places like New York, California. They're rushing to Florida, John. You're right. And they're talking about vaccines and all these horrible things. And, vaccines, he's so bad with vaccines. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say that someone got preferential treatment because they bought it. Didn't the NBA get a bunch of tests and stuff? They bought all the tests. Wealthy people get some stuff sometimes. I got it. But my point is, was Florida better than the others? I think it's obvious. Tom says, the new excuse for why Florida didn't fall into the ocean because of COVID. It's humid there. Yes, I think it's been humid the whole time. And it's pretty humid in New York too. So I don't know. Joe says, let's not get carried away. DeSantis is not a good governor. I didn't say that, Joe. And again, I was telling him, don't go nuts. Don't play yourself. Right. But that part was right. I can give someone credit where credit is due. Right. To be forward, some of you may think it wasn't a big deal what he did. You may think, well, whatever. He was just being a jerk. He was really going against the grain. There were a lot of people telling him he was evil. He was bad. He was the worst. And he just stood his ground and said, I think I'm right. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah. Joe says he just looks libertarian-ish compared to Cuomo. Yeah, but almost everyone does compared to Cuomo. It's hard to not look libertarian-ish when you compare yourself to Cuomo. Tough. You got to, like Newsom, no. But like almost every other governor is going to look like Ron Paul. Almost everyone's going to. It just seems that way, yes. Liberty Shamrocker. We have a daughter in Orlando area, employed at the happiest place on earth, and they're doing much better in a safe way. Yes, yes, and yes. Chris Cuomo's jealous of Ron DeSantis because Cuomo is a power-hungry SOB who demands more control. Let me show you something real fast. This is Chris Cuomo. This is what he said in, I think, June. If I'm not mistaken, it's June. And how he started talking his trash.
Pandemic does not make it go away. That's why states like Florida are in such dire straits.
He says states like Florida are in such dire straits. That's what he's talking about. Dire straits, Florida. The world is going to end. Well, Mr. Cuomo, the Prince, I'm sorry, not King, Prince Cuomo. Was that real?
Listen to its governor, DeSantis, boasting last month about what great shape Florida is in.
Watch this one.
You got a lot of people in your profession who waxed poetically for weeks and weeks about how Florida was going to be just like New York.
Yep.
Wait 2 weeks. Florida's going to be next. Just like Italy. Wait 2 weeks. Well, hell, we're 8 weeks away from that, and it hasn't happened.
That was heat. I'm just giving him.
What now?
No, what now? Your brother is getting ready to get in, is embarrassing himself. I don't know if he's going to get impeached. Your brother is under investigation, killing people in the nursing homes, locking us down, destroying our economy. Why don't you shut up? You shouldn't talk your trash. Now, how do you look? Really dumb.
Not going to hear him here.
Yeah, you are.
You won't see him here. Why? Because he's got nothing to say. When he had a chance to speak.
Where's your brother? What's he saying right now? Where's your brother? Yeah, sometimes when you talk trash, you got to pay a price. That's what he was up against. Guys like him just talking trash. Embarrassingly bad. Jimmy says, Larry, did you see the graph of the COVID curve in Florida? The counties that had mask mandates were only down about 0.2% less deaths than deaths from those that had light mask mandates. Yeah, look, I do think, my personal opinion, and this is just what I've seen, I think masks do help. I think they do. But I think most people, even the WHO says, it's not massive. It isn't like the be-all, end-all. But for many people, it does help. They're also now finding out that 6 feet isn't required in certain areas like schools and such. It's 3 feet is just as effective as 6 feet, which whatever it is, this was my whole point of what I was talking about. If we had gone that way in the first place and tested everything out locally, we would know whether it's 6 feet or 3 feet or 4 feet or 8 feet, or whether masks work 100%, 2%, 5%. We would know. And then we could decide exactly how we're going to work and what we're going to do in all of our worlds. Omar says, as a Broward County resident, I said it before and I'll say it again. Florida is fine. The weather's what helps, I'm sure. All the places in Dade and Broward that were set up for overflow were never used. There we go. Never used. I mean, I'm not, look, to Joe's point, I'm not saying DeSantis is awesome. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in this case, he did the right thing. And we really should just accept that and go, Florida, well done. Why don't we copy you? I like that. Charlie Chris has always been a tool. Yeah, I like that. Immediately he goes to, well, I don't have data. I know, race. That'll work. Right? It used to be Trump bad. It used to be orange man bad. Now it's white man bad. It's just changed. They've changed the color. That's it. It used to be orange man bad. There's no more orange man bad, though, is there? So now what are you going to do? I guess it's white man bad, I guess. Okay, whatever it is. So Craig says, they said everyone would die in Florida because of DeSantis. Now Florida results are mediocre at best. Right. They're not even that impressive. Talk about goalposts. You're totally right, Craig. This is well done. Yes, I love that. COVID cases rage on. I love how the media uses scary buzzwords. I got something else I'm going to show you, which you guys may enjoy. Let me bring up what they actually decided to do with what's it? Hold on, let me get it. Crooked Media. Crooked Media is actually, brought on the only statewide Democratic elected official in Florida, Department of Agriculture deputy or commissioner or something like that. And today, because they had to make sure that when the good news about DeSantis came out, that they could somehow trash him. So they're going to mention nothing about the successes. Zero. They're just going to find ways to trash him. And watch, you talk about language, Paul? Watch this. I hope you're sitting down because you might have an issue on this one. You might have an issue. All right.
To the show on the regular, know that Alyssa and I frequently have a B, or perhaps even several Bs in our bonnets about fuckery at the state level.
Yes.
Particularly in states that are run by Republicans who seem to have no skill or interest in actual governing.
No skill or interest in actual governing. Don't forget that. No skill or interest in actually governing. That's going to come back in a second.
Today, we've got a voice of reason from one of those states to talk about what's going wrong and what needs to happen in order to make it right. She's currently the only Democrat elected to a statewide office in Florida.
And by default, the only voice of reason. She's not biased at all, is she? No.
She is Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Nikki Fried. Welcome, Nikki.
Well, thank you so much for having me on today. And really, quite honestly, thank you for everything that you guys are doing. The fact that you are targeting people in red states that are standing up is really incredible, and helping those of us who are in those positions really. Yeah,
you attacking red states is just helping us tremendously because only the red states are bad. California and New York are perfect. So just get those red states. Everyone else is perfect.
Carry our voices and know.
So where was that propaganda again? Oh, right here. Thank you.
There's a lot of support out there for what we do.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So Florida has made headlines lately for a lot of concerning COVID-related reasons.
It made headlines for a lot of COVID-related reasons, right? And what they show is faces criticism over COVID-19 vaccination clinics in upscale communities. The racial piece. Right, that's the issue that they're going to spend time on now, right? The vaccine part, the vaccination part. That's what they're going to work on right now. The fact that Florida's doing well, cares about that.
As somebody who's actually there, how has the last year of the COVID pandemic gone for you, and how has it gone for your fellow Floridians?
Come on, tell us.
For me personally, it's been just as hard as it is for everybody else out there. Haven't been able to see my family either. I've got a 91-year-old grandmother
Yep.
I've got my mother in South Florida who also had cancer and was going through chemo. So
I'm sorry to hear that. That is horrible.
So it's been, hard for all of us, until now that we've got some vaccines here in the state, but certainly it's been difficult. And unfortunately here in the state of Florida, you've got these two camps, one camp that, are very into the Trump world, that you have no masks. And
now the funny thing, see the words they have to use. They have to say the Trump world. That has to happen. Now, look, you guys know I didn't vote for Trump. I threw my vote away, I'm air quoting here, on Joe Jorgensen. So I didn't support Trump. I voted Joe Jorgensen. I want libertarians to win. I still want Gary Johnson to be president. But I also realized something. They're just saying Trump because it unites the left. And some people get mad. I hear people on the right get mad about this. Oh, why do they keep saying that? Trump's not president anymore. Blah, 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 blah. It's a uniter. It's actually a smart move, right? If I was a Democrat, I'd be like, yeah, now I feel like I'm winning again because we're yelling about Trump. We can fall back to Orange Man Bad, which Orange Man Bad feels good. So I get why you say that. But now everything bad becomes the Trump world. I don't know if you're aware of this. Trump is no longer president.
Really, we're trying to throw parties during spring break last year and pack the stadiums during Super Bowls, both in Miami from last year and Tampa this year. And then you have our other half.
And then all the people who died. Yeah, you saw the numbers. You already saw the numbers by both real and percentage. Florida's doing fine.
Half of the state that hasn't seen family, hasn't been to funerals, haven't seen,
Yes, so that's my point. Half of the state is saying, I'm going to lock myself in the basement. And the other half is saying, I'm not. Okay. So what's the outcome of that? The outcome of that is even though Florida is the third largest state in the nation, it ranks 23rd in deaths. Should be ranking third. It's ranking 23rd.
Of grandchildren and
I'm sorry,
and just
47.
holidays, and that are really so scared, have lost loved ones or have seen loved ones get really sick and be on ventilators. And unfortunately, we've got a Republican governor who took his marching orders this entire time from President Trump.
See, had to say it again. Who took his marching orders from, unfortunately. Why unfortunately? What's the bad thing? Where's the bad data? There is none. All these people were having pain. I get it. I do. And I don't mean to be a nudge here at all. And we had the same pain in New York, California, Nebraska, Texas. COVID hurt a lot of people who have elderly grandparents like you do, or mom or dad. It hurt a lot of people like that, not just Florida.
So wouldn't do anything without the permission from Trump, whether that was to close down the state, whether it was to open the state. We had no mask mandate.
So two parts to this. Wouldn't do anything without permission from Trump. She literally just made that up. I mean, that's just total fabrication. If that were true, no Republican governors would have had any mandates, right? If that were true, it wasn't true. Each Republican governor did what they thought was best. This is what DeSantis, every governor did what they thought was best. I shouldn't say Republican governors, right? They all did what they thought was the right answer for whatever reason. Well, except my governor. My governor just wanted power, but the rest of them. So he did what he thought was right. She's now making it up because she has to link DeSantis with Trump. The fact that he was linked with Trump makes it bad by default.
The orders that came out of his office were confusing. He was hiding numbers and changing numbers from the Department of Health, not releasing information. It has been a dumpster fire. You
mean like Cuomo? Are you talking about Cuomo? What you just said is exactly what my governor is in hot water for. Your governor's not, though, but mine is. So I wonder who actually did that and who's just talking trash. I got a feeling you're just talking trash because my governor is literally in trouble for what you just said. And he's not a Republican. That's odd. I thought only Republicans are evil. Was Cuomo waiting from orders for Trump or something?
Here in the state of Florida, but for our local mayors and our city and council members across the state who stepped up during these times to protect their communities, we would have.
Okay, so you're actually saying right now what I've been talking about. Local mayors and local leaders stepped up to protect their communities. What should local leaders and local mayors be doing? Oh, right, stepping up to protect their communities. They did their job. That's not impressive, right? That's local is good. You're supposed to do that. Why are you upset?
Have been very, very far worse off than we are today.
Speaking of your governor, Ron DeSantis, it seems like a lot of problems in Florida can be traced to him. Can you explain how DeSantis's handling of the pandemic has made it worse?
Wow. That's not a biased question. Can you please take a few minutes to tell us how bad your governor is? Okay.
Yeah, lack of leadership. Again, that he was following Trump the entire time.
Following Trump. They've invoked Trump 4 times already. The election was 6 months ago. The inauguration was 2 months ago. They've invoked Trump already 4 times. They haven't said anything that's bad. No, by the way, they've been speaking for 3 minutes. They haven't given you a policy that was bad, a thing he's done that was bad at all. They've just said, well, he follows Trump and stuff. So, do I have to say anything else?
Thing that Trump said, pushing all of the hoax types of vaccines and medications, then all of a sudden Florida is buying them.
Right. All the hoax and vaccines and medications. In case you guys don't know, as of yesterday, because I was curious, I'm like, wow, are vaccines really being screwed up so badly? As of yesterday, percentage of population vaccinated out of 50 states, Florida is low. Florida is at 37 out of 50. That's low. She's right. New York's at 41. California at 43. So what happened? Was Trump talking about New York and California now too? Did Trump sneak to California and sneak to New York also to make them worse than Florida? Florida has a higher percentage of vaccinated population than New York and California. What's up with that? How did that work? I don't understand that. Doesn't make any sense at all. You have no data to back up what you're saying. You're just talking trash because you're mad because Republican did well. Crush it.
So he just has really been so up to get the support of President Trump. And then what happened
6 times.
Also is,
how can he be up now to get the support of President Trump when Trump's no longer the president and he's already popular and he's still looking for Trump? Wow, you're going to lose your seat.
He would be changing numbers and changing theories of, no, we don't have community spread. Oh, wait, maybe we do. Or it doesn't impact our kids. Wait, maybe it does. And so he went out of his way almost to continue to confuse people. So instead of having a leader who went to the cameras every day.
Who went to the cameras every day? What leader went to the cameras every day? Oh, right, my Governor Cuomo. The guy who's accused of harassing and assaulting women. That guy. The guy who sent tens of thousands of people to their death, probably. I mean, at least 10,000 people to their death in nursing homes. That guy. If you only had a leader like that, whose state right now has a worse vaccination record than yours. If you only had that leader. Yeah. Poor Floridians.
Confidence into the people of our state said, listen, we're all in this together. Please wear a mask. Please social distance. I know it's hard not seeing your family and your friends, but we got to do this together. In order for our economy to rebound, we've got.
Your economy is rebounding. Mine is in the toilet. I don't know what. This is pure propaganda. This is just propaganda. There is not a policy, not a reason, logic that makes no sense. You're literally saying he should have done what my terrible governor did. Our unemployment rate is almost twice yours. And that does not even include all the entrepreneurs that went out of business. 100,000 small businesses since last year, I don't know what the numbers are now in New York State, are gone. 60,000 won't return. 500,000. Say this again. 500,000 workers have left New York City for good. Not coming back. That's the population of most cities in America. Gone out of New York City. So you know what? I think I'll take your governor.
Got to get through beating this virus. And he didn't do any of that.
And it worked. Where's the data points? Any of them that show that it failed, except your feelings are hurt. And I get your feelings are hurt. I do. If I was a Democrat, my feelings would be hurt. I actually would be saying nothing. If I was a Democrat, I'd be quiet as a mouse. I'd be saying nothing because this attack now is just making you look bad. I'd be quiet. If I was Democrat, I'd be like, who's governor of Florida? I don't remember. That's what I'd be doing now.
Has really taken himself out of any conversations with experts. Our Surgeon General here in the state of Florida, we haven't seen for 9 months. He was pulled out of a press conference because he wasn't, spewing the same, rhetoric that the governor was spewing.
And the governor was right. He wasn't spewing the rhetoric at the governor because he was spewing the same garbage the other Florida guy was wrong about. And the governor maybe knew he was wrong and said, don't do it. Could be that.
And he got pulled out of a press conference and we haven't seen him since. It's like the healthcare crisis.
Oh my God, we don't have an expert to tell us stuff while we all die. It's crazy, isn't it? We have to have an expert to tell us stuff while we die. Or maybe we'll have an expert put our parents into nursing homes and kill them. That could work. Or maybe we'll have experts hide data. That could work. Or experts destroy our economy. That could work too.
And our Surgeon General is nowhere to be found. And so he has not listened to experts. He brings around those hoax experts that we saw President Trump talking about, how herd immunity is the way to go. And that's how the governor reacted. Opened up our state completely with no guidelines, no metrics.
And what happened? We just saw in the CNN piece, which they wouldn't bring up. He's correct. She's correct. He absolutely gave no guidelines. And what did individual business owners do? Create their own guidelines. Oh, if only someone had said that maybe a year ago, like if only somebody said that and put that in a series of 10 videos on the Sharpe Way YouTube page that anyone could watch ever, who said exactly that a year ago. If only someone had done that. Oh, wait, I did. Yeah. This is what I was talking about a year ago. Yes. And people would create their own guidelines. And they did.
How to have 25% business capacity or 50% and kind of slowly going into this. And he's proud of it. I mean, he talks about how our state is open for business and we talk about
why look at her. And he's proud that our state has an economy. What's wrong with this guy? He's proud that business owners were savvy enough to figure out in their own communities how to service them. This guy's proud of that. What an idiot.
About Disney. Well, California still, Disneyland is still closed. And he talks about all of these things, but has forgotten to realize that there's a part of governing where you're supposed to be a public servant. And that means taking care of everybody and putting.
Okay, who didn't he take care of? Where's your data? She's literally spent 5 minutes going, I'm really mad because he doesn't make me feel good. Did I miss that? Her entire argument is, I'm mad because he didn't make me feel good. Cuomo made me feel good. He also probably felt you up, but that's fine. But he made you feel good. And he asked you to play strip poker, but he made you feel good. I got it.
Everybody, to rest assured that we got this. And we don't. He stopped talking to me.
But we do have
a long time.
He stopped talking to you because you're clearly useless. I wouldn't talk to you either. I'm not mad at him for that. That one I'm not mad at him for. I'm not mad at him for that. It's fine. You'll be fine. Go ahead.
Where my responsibility is feeding our state. Refuse to have me on reopening.
Your responsibility is feeding our state. So if you got sick, everyone in your state would just starve to death. Did you hear? Wow. Can you be any more, I'll say it, statist? Literally, my responsibility is feeding our state. So if you just got sick, everyone in Florida starves? No, your job isn't feeding our state. That's not your job at all. No, you're a bureaucrat. Farmers feed our state. That's how that works. Farmers feed the state. And if you didn't do your job at all, you know what would happen? Farmers would feed the state. And if there were 3 of you, you know what would happen? Farmers would feed the state. They'd make less money because 3 of you would clearly make a disaster. I mean, it would be much harder, but they would still find a way to feed the state. You're not that important.
Task forces wasn't talking to me, wasn't engaging in my office, doesn't talk to the rest of the cabinet, infrequently talks to leadership of our Senate and our House of Representatives, doesn't talk to our U.S. senators and members of Congress, has gone this alone. And
where is the bad data? 6 minutes of I'm mad. He didn't make me feel good.
He's only touching base with President Trump during the time, and now he's
Trump just 7 times
there
Trump
on his own, giving out vaccines to wealthy donors, and making it pay to play for even getting the vaccine.
pay to play, giving. So he's out there. She said it. He's out there giving vaccines. So I guess he goes out himself and says, "Hey, donor, can I have some money? Here, roll up your sleeve." That's what she said. Now, we know that's not true. Is it possible some wealthy people got some vaccines? Sure, happens all the time. I got it. Is that his fault? I have no idea. But where's the data that says it didn't go well for her state? There is none. There's no data.
So it has been an absolute disaster here in the state.
Disaster.
And to all the people that are listening and that are from the state of Florida, I just want to apologize on behalf of government that this is not the way it's supposed to be. And
we're supposed to lock you in your homes. I'm so sorry that we didn't. We were really gonna build the gulags. We were. I mean, I was planning. I had the plans and everything for the gulags. I had them, but DeSantis wouldn't talk to me, so I couldn't get the gulags built. We had attack dogs, the whole thing. We had education camps. We had them already. Sorry, I couldn't do that. Sorry, I couldn't lock you in your homes for the entire year and make sure your kids don't go to school and ruin your lives and make sure that your elderly people die without you seeing them. I'm sorry I couldn't do that to you. I apologize.
This didn't have to be this bad. If he would have just been listening to science, been cautious, not been so abrasive to the media and to people that aren't necessarily in his same mindset. He's very dismissive, and if you happen to question a policy or an executive order, you now go to the bottom of the bad list of Santa.
If only you had a governor like mine, Cuomo, who doesn't do anything like that. Maybe is even worse. Maybe even worse. If he was a Democrat, it would be magically better.
And you would think that you would, have killed a member of his family by the way he treats people who, stand up and are in opposition to some things that he says and orders that he signs.
Can you actually, for our listeners, explain a little bit more about the pay to play as it relates to the vaccines?
Of course.
Who is he prioritizing in vaccine distribution?
Yeah, first it was, first come, first serve for our seniors.
Which makes sense. A lot of states went that way, and they had the best initial results when it came to vaccines. Age-based, first come, first serve. West Virginia did that, had the best initial month of it. So did Florida. It was great. It was exactly the right answer. Nothing but success. All the data shows that, just successful.
Which was an absolute disaster.
Total lie. Utter lie. Zero data to support that. Total lie. She just made that up.
There was no state plan. There was no organization. There was no.
It was a disaster because she couldn't control it. Note why it was a disaster. Not because it didn't work. I couldn't control all this stuff. I mean, I'm out here feeding the state by myself. And all of a sudden I can't control this? Terrible.
Talking to your local Department of Health or your hospitals. He just said, first come, first serve and start distributing the vaccines. So that was the first disaster. And then.
Okay, right now, at this moment, I'm sorry, not this moment, I'm sure it's the same though, but as of yesterday, the data that I got as of yesterday, Florida has a higher percentage of vaccinated population than both New York and California. I don't know where your disaster is coming from.
He started kind of getting smart and started realizing that he can have a political win by designating these vaccines to Republican areas, areas where he has.
Can't let Republicans get vaccinated? Republican areas. Like you're going to let Republicans get vaccinated. What's wrong with you? Come on. They don't get vaccines. Republicans.
Received significant campaign contributions.
Of course.
We have 3 already documented areas here in our state where a vaccine pop-up site, we're calling them pop-up sites because they're not organized. They come at the last minute. Typically.
Boy, she hates stuff that's not organized, doesn't she? But there was another governor in a northern state that did pop-up vaccine sites. Oh, right, mine, Cuomo. How come everything you say that he should have done, Cuomo did, yet Cuomo's a monster? How come you aren't saying that?
It was because he had a press conference in that area, and 3 specific instances. We had one that was in.
Okay, I thought you didn't want him on TV. You said, why isn't he on TV every day? Like some governors, Cuomo's on TV every day, right? That's what you said. So he has a press conference. He wants to be on TV. So it's a pop-up so it can be on TV. Now it's bad. Well, it's Republicans. They don't deserve that.
It's called Manatee County here in Florida, where it was 2 specific zip codes. And the county commissioner from that area created a VIP list that was at the direction of the governor of who was going to get these vaccines.
Well, the VIP list wasn't for the vaccines. The VIP list was for the press conference. You just said that. It was for the press conference. It was still first come, first serve. That didn't change, but she won't tell you that. It was still first come, first serve. The VIP list was for the press conference. And look at them laughing. Oh, I can't believe this guy gave Republican stuff. Look at them all righteous up top.
Before everybody else. And exclusive zip codes, which happen to have been the wealthiest 2 zip codes in that
See
county.
that? You rich
and
people.
When the governor was questioned about it, he says, well, I can just move them to another place if you guys aren't happy with getting vaccines here. And
yeah, because he wanted to do a press conference someplace.
And meanwhile, the other part of town, the west part of town, it is really an underserved minority community that had no vaccine.
Of course it is. It's an underserved minority community. Isn't it always? I mean, is it me? Or every time something's wrong now, it goes to underserved minority, bad white guy. Isn't it? I feel like it's always that now. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm becoming sensitive to it because I see so much of this. But I feel like it's always that. And you keep saying it to the point where it doesn't mean anything anymore. You just keep saying it to where it has no value. Someone's like, here we go again. And the problem is there actually are problems in poor communities, minority communities. There really are problems. But when you make every single thing about that, how many crises can someone handle in their head? I know you think you're helping, or maybe you don't care, but you're not helping. You're making this worse by trying to be self-righteous. The reason why so many people can't stand this world is because you alienate so many people with your smugness. That's the issue.
And you only could be getting these vaccines if you lived in this zip code. And we then saw the amount of campaign contributions from this area that had gone in previously.
This is the issue.
Couple months to the governor. We saw the same thing.
Let me grab some comments. It's white man bad again. That's all it is. Anyway, Eric says, didn't we already know this because of South Dakota? South Dakota also did relatively well, but South Dakota is very sparsely populated. So the first epidemiologist, when he mentioned the idea of density and humidity and such, it's a valid point. Comparing South Dakota to most other states isn't really a fair comparison. It isn't. But New York to Florida, they're within 1 million people in population, I think. I think Florida's at 20 million. New York's at about 18, so about 2 million apart. South Dakota doesn't even have 1 million people in the entire state, so it's a massive difference in that. And the largest cities in South Dakota are nowhere near the large cities. I mean, the largest in South Dakota, do they even have 100,000? I don't think so. But Florida has large metro areas, seriously large. Orlando, Miami, Tampa, St. Petersburg. These are large metro areas. Not as large as New York City, obviously, but New York City is the only really large metro area we have. The other ones are big, but they're not massive. Florida has 4 or 5 massive metro areas. So it's much more of a fairer comparison than South Dakota. So Jeanette says, vitamin C for some and far more sunshine, vitamin D, all good medicine. I think, this is a part of what we should have been talking about, and we weren't. So what are you talking about? We haven't talked about, are there other things we could do to make things work? Also, again, I'm not anti-vax at all. I'm only anti-mandate. If you think a vaccine is right for you, please get a vaccine, and I hope it's available for you. And if you think that vitamin C and vitamin D is a better answer for you, please take that. If you like both, take both. Whatever makes you happy and healthy. That's the issue. So Terry says, I hope you're running for governor of New York. We'll see. Again, I said I will announce in the summer. The issue was giving rich people preference. That is messed up. You put a value in people's lives. But that's actually not what happened. What happened was he was doing press conferences, and he selected times to do a press conference in certain areas. The VIP list was for the people for the press conference, not for people with the vaccines. He actually wasn't doing that. So, and if you look at the state, the age is the most important piece overall. Right. Overall, the most important factor in people dying is age. There's many factors, but the number one of all of them is age. And he focused on age. which if you're going to make a preference, that's the one I want. So whether you were rich or not, if you weren't of that age group, you didn't get the vaccine. It was first come, first served based upon age. And that's how West Virginia worked also. So this is a spin of a story that actually isn't true. If he had actually done that, I think you're right. I think you're right. If he had done that, if he had said, okay, my rich donors come to my house and get vaccines, that would have been bogus. I agree. So Rosa is still in New York, but not long. Even my sister in Brooklyn's moving down to Florida. Yep. Got 2 brothers there already. Yep. I'm next in line. I can't wait to kiss New York goodbye. I totally get that. Yes, absolutely. So, all right. Cuomo to be impeached, he will be gone. I don't think he's going to get impeached. I don't. I think if he even believes that it's close, he'll resign. I don't think he'll go through the impeachment. That's my gut, but I could be wrong. Yes. Any comorbidity covers a ton of issues. It does. You're right, Karen. It does. There were lots of them, right? One of the biggest one was weight, right? That was one of the big. There are many of them. Chemotherapy, diabetes. There were many different issues. Asthma, COPD, emphysema. These were all issues that made things worse. But the biggest one was, was weight. Medical. There we go. Yes. Yes. Medical obesity is what most of us would simply call overweight. Many healthy people actually have high BP. You may be more eligible than you think. Asthma, allergies, irregular heartbeat. Talk to your doctor. Yes. All true. Yes. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. So Joe says, does he get an Emmy, or is it only when you kill 15 plus? Yeah, no. To get an Emmy, you've got to, I guess, be on TV every day and kill like 15 with one blow, right? It's got to be one thing you do that kills over 10,000. I think that's the answer. So yeah. So ketchup or mustard on those words, you got to eat nice for Mr. Cuomo. Yes, it is terrible how bad he was. He talked all type of trash, and because he always talks trash, because he thinks he's untouchable, just like he thinks his brother thought he was untouchable. But that didn't work very well, did it? Yeah. Didn't work well at all. So let me see if I can grab this here. These people are unbelievable and opportunistically disingenuous. Okay. As our president, he's doing more than the corrupt politics we have now. Joe Biden with the money traders with China and all the corrupt things that's going on right now. Donald wasn't afraid to say. You know, I'm unsure about the China piece. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to hold judgment on that one. So, redlining is real. Yes, it is. 100%. Redlining is real. Yes, it is. I've done it. For those of you who want to talk about, want to watch that, last year on June 19th, they did a special just on that and explained how all that stuff worked from 1619 all the way till today. Yes, it is. You are correct. Absolutely is. So, Trump ain't president anymore, so let's stop kicking that dead horse. I'm with you, James, but as I said, he's still a uniter. Right? He's still of the left. He's still a uniter. And while I don't like it, it does work. Like it's an effective strategy. As much as I personally don't like it, I just got to say it does work. I see it. I watch the Democrats go, yeah, Trump's get him. Yes, absolutely. So how that works. So, all right. Let me keep going and grab a couple more of these. Trump should have fired Fauci in the spot when Fauci gave the orders to close places of worship down. Yeah. Fauci is still giving direct orders, I recall, isn't the HHS secretary. Ooh. I don't know if he still holds that spot or not, Andrew. Wow, you guys give me good questions. I can't answer those two. I'm unsure. Yes. Yeah. See if I can keep going here. If I can grab this here. Wow, a lot of stuff here. A mask has been, I think you mean politicked? Yes, that's true. Absolutely. They have absolutely, of course. Mike says, I know your commentary is great, but these wonks are hard to listen to. I can listen to their jibber jabber without your counter commentary. I know. That's what I'm trying to do. They're preaching to a choir. There are a lot of people, and you saw the anger online. When CNN actually did a decent piece on DeSantis, people didn't want to accept it. So they started going nuts, screaming and yelling, upset. The online banter was terrible. Oh, the CNN's lying, blah, 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 lying, all that stuff. Horrible. So, of course, what are you going to do? You got to find people like Crooked Media who will now say, don't worry, I got you. Orange man is still bad. He's still bad. It's fine. We got you. Republicans still evil because they're Republicans. Democrats still good. We'll forget about Cuomo. Don't talk about him. And that's what happens here. Absolutely. Wow. The orange man bad is strong in these ones. Yes, they've mentioned Trump 8 times already. 8 times already. It works. So Trump was such a good hate monger that he's created a you are a Trump or another. Yes. Oh, Susan, yes. I say it all the time. And people who like Trump get mad at me when I say this, right? Trump is a big personality. So he's easy to love and easy to hate. Big personalities are easy to put heavy emotion on. It's just how humans work. Biden's not a big personality. So most people who like Biden are like, yeah, he's nice. He'll do. He's good. And most people who don't like Biden go, God, really? That guy? But no, very few people are like, hate Biden. And very few people are like, love Biden. Very few. Trump is very easy to love, very easy to hate. These big personalities, it's just how it works. So to find somebody else, they don't have anybody. That's one of the reasons why Republicans are struggling at the moment. They don't have an easy person to hate yet. There's no big personality coming out of the left right now. The best they have really is AOC, and she's not active enough to do that, right? Bernie's kind of quiet now. So they don't have that big, guy with big personality to hate right now. I'm sure someone's going to come out. It might be Newsom. Newsom all of a sudden is starting to get aggressive. Cuomo has to shut up. Right? They hated Cuomo, but he just got hammered, so he had to shut up. So maybe Newsom, I don't know. Somebody else might pop up. That would unite the right? If that were to happen. Otherwise, they're going to struggle also. Yes. I almost threw away good friends because of the being for or against them. Susan, you've made a very important point here, which has driven me crazy forever. And I've tried to make that point clear here. And I've tried to be an example of that here. I don't want you, because you disagree with anybody or anything, to walk away from your family and friends. It is a terrible idea. Yesterday, I was attacking conservatives, right? I was attacking Officer Tatum, who's a staunch conservative. I was attacking him. Today, I'm attacking clearly progressives. But I'm not, I did personally attack him. He's a bad guy. But I usually don't personally attack them. I usually just talk about what they're doing, how they're doing, why it's bad. Because both sides have problems. And both sides sometimes do the right thing. Right? I was beating up conservatives yesterday, yet today I'm telling DeSantis, well done. I'm giving people credit where credit is due. Well done. It's correct. Yes. And I beat up Cuomo all the time. Right? But even him, I said, even when I was saying, I still said he deserves due process. I don't like the man. Clearly, I don't like the man. I've made that very clear. And he deserves due process. So we don't have to destroy and burn everything down because you're for or against him. There are many people listening or watching right now who don't care about Trump at all. And there are many people listening and watching right now who love Trump, who voted for him and would vote for him again. And there are many who would never vote for Trump and hate Trump and will not vote for him, can't stand him at all. And they're all watching the show. I know that because I get the DMs, I get the tweets, I get all the responses, I see the comments. So I know I have all 3 of them on the show. That's what I want. I want more people to be that way. That's why you see the up and down of my viewership. Some people get on and go, oh, he's yelling at the left again. I'm out of here. Some people go, oh, he's yelling at the right again. I'm out of here. Some people don't want to hear it. And I get it, but they come back. We need more of that, Susan. More of that. Absolutely. Yes. So, all right. How long before not taking the vaccine is called violence? Last month. Pete, where you been? Where you been? Last month? 2 months ago? I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm so sick of we are all in this together. I'm not sick of that if there wasn't a now I'll do it and then order you around. The problem is that we're all in this together is just rhetoric. It's to make you feel like I got you, so shut up and I'll take care of you. But real leaders, and you learn this, I learned this in the Marine Corps. Real leaders don't say, I got you, shut up, sit down, I'll take care of this. Real leaders say, I need you. Come on, let's go. Up, let's go. We got stuff to do. Let's go. Let's do this. When it's like that, that's we're all in it together. And if I had been governor, I would have been talking about that. I would have been saying, literally, guys, we're all in this together. Show me how this works in your county. Show me how it works in this county. Be transparent. Share your data so we can figure out what works and what doesn't work. That's actually, we're all in this together. When she says it, she means we're all in this together. So shut up and listen to me. That's what she actually means. And that's why I hate it 100%. So is anyone else thoroughly entertained by Larry's comedic response to Cuomo? It kills me. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Propaganda in its purest form. Again, they went on for 8 minutes and didn't say one thing at all. Didn't say one thing at all. Yes, absolutely. Propaganda on steroids, blue pilled BS. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, I voted for Larry. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Paul says we're all in this together is pure socialist propaganda. Yes. We are all definitely not in this together. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. 100% true, Paul. Yes. 100% true. Absolutely. Yes. So, Divine in Ohio, he has been before the cameras every day. Oh, your governor. Sorry. He did a fair job managing this, but his lockdown policies showed a lot of small businesses here, like Ohio needed more economic problems. Agreed. Yes. Agreed. Absolutely. So, this report should be a drinking game. Trump, take a shot. I'd be on the floor already, Christine. I'd be a disaster. Terrible idea. Maybe for you guys, but yeah, exactly. Paul says, I love not seeing government officials. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me grab a little bit more of this if I could. There's a little bit more I want to show you. Just a tad. I won't drive you too crazy, but where it goes, because it does go a little bit further.
A little bit further south in one of our other counties, where there is a wealthy Republican donor who has given significant
Hold on. Oh, I got to go back real fast. Hold on. You got to see the most important piece. What's that say? What they show? County officials blasted DeSantis over a vaccine site in an affluent white area. Capital W white. That's extra white. Capital W. So he threatened to take away the doses. That's not what he said. He said, you don't like it, I'll go someplace else. That's what he said. That's not threatening to take away doses. And of course, it has to be white. And at what point do you just stop talking? At what point do you what point do you stop hearing it?
Who has given significant campaign contributions to him over the last couple of years and is a developer. And these vaccines were going into this developer's exclusive communities. Again, gated communities that other people couldn't get into. And
you can't get in the gated community. It doesn't mean that they don't get to have vaccines too. The percentage of Floridians vaccinated isn't skewed by the wealthy, it's skewed by age.
And I think the most atrocious one that we have seen is down in the Keys, in one of Key Largo, in one of these, again, exclusive resort areas, where there were 17 individuals that gave $5,000 campaign contributions in the month of December.
So they shouldn't get vaccines. If you give money to a politician, no vaccines for you. No vaccines for you.
Past Republican governor from Illinois that gave a $250,000 campaign contribution, and the hospital that gave him the vaccines canceled appointments for other people to shift these vaccines to this area. And there's also
look at how evil they are.
And people that were members couldn't even get the vaccines. You actually had to be an equity shareholder of this community in order to get these vaccines. And now the governor is saying, well, I wasn't involved in this one. This was through the back.
So let's assume that's true, that they came up with a system to where that when you go to the Keys, they would give certain people certain amounts for whatever area, whatever you were. Do you really think, and it's a serious question, do you really think the governor himself was like, hey, guys, let's come up with this scheme to give all these rich people vaccines? What could go wrong? You think the governor actually did that? Do you, or could it be that those donors had money and power on their own to make something like that happen without anyone else of any stature even knowing? If you can afford to give a candidate $250,000, if that's who you are, where you can write a check for $250,000 to a candidate, first off, please get a hold of me because you are now my new best friend. But besides that, if you can do that, you have a little bit of spare money you're laying around where you could get stuff to go the way you want it to go. I'm not saying that DeSantis is not corrupt. He may be super corrupt, as most politicians are. But to make it his fault for that, but to not even bring up Cuomo? Is it possible that DeSantis' donors are wealthy and got special treatment because they're wealthy? Yeah, they did it themselves. They had money. They bribed people or whatever you do, or whatever, bought somebody a car, or whatever is the thing you do, or got somebody a job, or whatever is the thing that wealthy people do to get someone to do what they want. But did DeSantis take, I don't know, 7,000 elderly people, put them into nursing homes and watch them all die? I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. You're grasping at straws because you're upset.
Health. Meanwhile, Baptist has said, Governor, we would have never done this without somebody from your office giving us the green light. So there's back and forth and back and forth. And that's just 3 examples that we know of today. I can go on and list other times when we know he's going into a community or that it's been just released that there's a press conference in Volusia County and that there's going to be a pop-up site in Volusia County. But meanwhile, the day before, the Republican Club of Volusia County sent out an email encouraging people to go and see the governor. And
so literally it's a press conference. It's a political event. So of course, wealthy donors show up. But were they 17 years old? Probably not. They were probably in their 60s and 70s, which was legal, which is the way you were supposed to do it anyway. First come, first serve. Okay, they emailed them ahead of time. Probably crappy. I'm with you, crappy. But anywhere near as bad. Did some 17-year-old not get a shot because of it? No, he wasn't going to get one anyway.
And again, this is not a wide distribution of that county. This is just the Republican club of that community. And again, so we are just constantly seeing that he's using these vaccines as a tool to reward his donors, to reward people that have supported the Republican Party. And at the same respect, those counties and those city commissioners who have been more critical of him, he is not providing vaccines in those areas or going around them to provide into those communities.
Maybe they didn't want it from him. They don't like him because he didn't talk to him or something. You know what you said? Maybe that's what it is.
Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like a lot of covering up for something that a year ago he was calling a hoax. Wow, that's a lot of
Oh, it's a cup. This is good. Oh my God. Are they going to make did we just hear this? This, by the way, is from today. Is this going to be the new thing? Do they start talking about DeSantis and a cover up to try to flood the media? So you stop talking about Newsom getting recalled and Cuomo under investigation? It's not a bad tactic. It's not a bad tactic. That might work. If Democrats are that desperate to have something, this might work. This might not be a bad deal. All of a sudden, DeSantis is the bad guy, and he's a cover-up, worse than Cuomo's cover-up. Maybe.
Are they just pantomimed vaccines that he's giving to people? Or come on, pick a lane, Governor.
Oh, now they're not real vaccines now. Okay, maybe they're fake vaccines. Okay.
From a public health perspective, what happens when people who need the vaccine most aren't prioritized? What have you seen as the overall harm when so many people have been allowed to cut in line?
The overall harm, so it's bad when so many have been able to cut in line. So many. So they had 5 people maybe who were able to scam because they're wealthy, right? Florida has a population of 20 million people. About 12% or so are vaccinated. So that's 2.4, give or take. No, right, about 2.4 million people vaccinated. So what, maybe 100 cut the line? So many, 100 out of 2.4 million cut the line, maybe, assuming that she's even right. What's all the harm? How many minority people have been killed by this?
Yeah, the problem is that, right now our teachers aren't getting vaccinated. Unless you are 55 and above and have a health concern, our teachers are not being vaccinated.
Oh, hold on. Our teachers aren't being vaccinated. Well, unless you're 55 and above and have a health concern, which if you aren't over 55 with a health concern, why do you care? Wow. So he hates teachers, except if they have a chance of actually dying, then he cares. But the teachers who have almost no chance of dying, he hates them. If you're 45, 50, 35, 25, and you get COVID, the odds of you dying are very slim. It could happen. Don't get me wrong. It could happen. But it's very slim. The clearest issue is age with a comorbidity. And she literally said, well, unless you're 55 years old with a comorbidity, with another problem. Yeah. With a pre-existing condition. Yeah. That's the problem.
Our farm workers, the things that I oversee, are not a priority. So these are the individuals that.
So you oversee the farm workers? You the overseer? You the overseer on a plantation? Sure, you want to take that title? Okay.
That haven't stopped working. You know, our farmers have been out there making sure that we're feeding not just our state, but our country. You know,
Yes.
we're seeing the people that work at the food stores are not prioritized. So these individuals that have put their lives.
Okay. I'm just wondering, maybe I don't know this. I could be ignorant. I'm not a farm expert here. I know a decent amount, but not a farm expert. I don't think that even anywhere near the majority of farm workers are over 55 with pre-existing conditions. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'd have to guess less than 10% of the population is over 55 with a pre-existing condition. And by the way, if you are over 55 with a pre-existing condition, you can go get your vaccine, farm worker or not. This is all just made up lies. She's an elected official statewide in Florida, completely full of crap.
Lives on the line every single day for us that are essential workers.
Every day, there's essential workers who, if they're over 55, can go get a vaccine. Their life is on the line.
Are waiting at the back of the line. And the other.
Wait, these very healthy 25-year-olds, they're waiting at the back of the line. Yeah, if you're a very healthy 25-year-old, get your butt in the back of the line. Yes, I have no problem with that. You'll be fine.
The other part is that the individuals that are not getting the vaccine, because again, they're waiting on websites and waiting for this, sacred vaccines, sign up an appointment. They're staying home, which means they're not contributing to the economy and the rebuilding of the economy.
You want to lock them down. Are you happy it's open or not? What? You're terrible.
And if we're doing things
You're
like
terrible.
This, it is taking away the concept that everybody's got an equal opportunity to succeed in life and to live.
Oh, so now this is about equity too. There it is. It had to be about equity. We're taking away we don't have enough vaccines, do we? If we had enough vaccines, everybody wanted one, well, then everybody would get one, but we don't. So we prioritize by age, the most important thing. I'm going to stop. It's starting to get me annoyed, and I don't need to get any more annoyed. It's just nothing but bad. You can see how bad it is. What bothers me about this is she literally, it goes over another 5 minutes. It's 15 minutes of her saying nothing but white man bad, orange man bad. That's what it is. Nothing but that. Nothing else but that. And is DeSantis a perfect governor? Not even close. Not even close. But where was her policy issue? Where was the thing she would have done differently? What was the part that he made a mistake for? Where's that? I don't understand how that's supposed to work. It doesn't make any sense. So Lyndon says it's almost like you need someone's opinion when you're not exercising centralized planning. She does like her centralized planning a lot. I mean, I think that was clear. A lot. She loves that. So the governor of Florida is a terrible man. He made sure his wealthy ones got access first instead of it being need first. All right. Maybe. I mean, okay. Is he a bad man? Probably. He's another politician in a duopoly. So probably yes. But the issue here is, if I can be clear on this, from what I see, and if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be corrected. Wealthy people who were his donors use their money to get the vaccine first. So do lots of wealthy people. That doesn't mean it's his fault. It means our system sucks. True. If I look overall from what I've seen, and maybe the data's changed recently, but from what I've seen, There's no significant change in Florida compared to any place else. Even by racial mix, there's not a massive change at all. It's about the same everywhere. So whether he did or not, say he did take his top, even 1,000 donors. I mean, that would be a lot, but say he does. He took his top 1,000 donors and made sure they got a vaccine. Okay. I would bet the wealthiest donors are older anyway, because generally speaking, if you can write a check for 50 grand, 100 grand, those types of dollars, you have accumulated wealth over your life, right? The odds are you're not 25. You might be. Odds are you're not. You're over 50, maybe even over 60 or 70. They were probably going to get it anyway. So he just made sure they were all there at his event so he can do a propaganda event while he was giving out vaccines. Or they just used their influence and just did it because they're wealthy. Well, my governor every day got on TV, CNN, used the whole thing to get a book and an Emmy. And an Emmy. He got an Emmy and a book out of it, and killed more people than in Florida by both percentage and overall, and is responsible for those who went into nursing homes, and is a cover-up, and looks like, ostensibly, allegedly, is a sexual harasser. So, yeah, Florida guy's bad. My guy's worse. So, lulls Larry Gulag and lock them all up. Be safe. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes, that's good. Daniel says, what science did he not listen to? There's my point, Daniel. I'm with you, right? Where is the outcomes that you should be unhappy about? Where's the bad outcomes? I don't see them. I don't see them at all. Brandy says she's showing her true character. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stephen says, just print more money and keep everyone unemployed. I'm waiting for the UBI, Stephen. People got mad at me last year. Mad at me when I was talking about negative income tax. Mad at me. How can you possibly say negative income tax? Oh, my God. Blah, 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 blah. Horrible stuff. And the reason why I said it is, of all the UBI schemes, negative income tax is the least bad. It's the best of the worst. That's what it is. It's the best of the worst. Why? Because UBI is coming, Stephen. You're right. That's why you're saying that. It's going to come. So let's pick the best one, the one that's as close to libertarian as possible. Let's pick that one because we're going to get it. So let's try to fix it. So keep everyone unemployed, locked down, and scared. It'll only help Amazon and China at the end of the day. Very valid point. Yes. We're giving more money right back to Amazon. Yes. 100%. All right. Tom says, I owe DeSantis an apology. I now see why he trolls everyone. These people are insane status. It's good. There we go. He does troll sometimes, but I don't know if it's him or his people. My people troll sometimes too. They get mad. The problem is people sometimes, if they support somebody, they get mad. So they want to strike out. I know. I felt it too. Right. I support somebody and then people start messing with him or her and I support them and I lash out. It does happen. It's true. It does happen. So, all right. Not true. Florida scam people based on wealth. Okay. Look, maybe I'm wrong. I'm prepared to be wrong. I could be wrong on this one. What I would say in defense is if he did it, terrible. He should be punished if it's true. Overall, Florida's doing better than New York. So, and they were nowhere near as bad, even for budgeting. I mean, New York's budget is $208 billion now, up $13 billion since COVID. Up $13 billion since COVID. I don't see Florida doing that. So maybe you're right. I don't want to fight you. If you know something, you know it better than I do. She's just a useful idiot, paid her way in the biggest lawyer lobby groups in the state. The guys, Baskin, I had Obama in my house once under the premise that she will somehow only legalize pot in the state. Oh, is that how that worked? Unknown to me. Unknown to me. Shelly says, I'm getting my first shot tomorrow and then take the 3 weeks to find out exactly how the second shot will kill me. I hope it doesn't, Shelly, please. I hope not. I hope not. Absolutely. I hope not. James says, show your voter registration card for vaccine. Or the reverse, show your vaccine card to vote. The worse. Yeah, absolutely. Worse. Absolutely. Does she not know how many rich people live in Florida? She needs to visit Boca. There's a lot, and a lot of them are from New York. They're packing up and going. Absolutely. Brandy says DeSantis also set up pop-up sites in minority areas as well. I believe that. I'm sure he did both. I believe that. Yep, absolutely. So, see if I can keep going here. Larry, I'm ashamed that you're giving any of this your time. The reason why I did is for two reasons. One, people are talking about it. So I wanted to be able to talk about something that people are talking about. Two, I wanted you to see what happens when people are desperate and their side's losing and they see the other side winning, where they go. And Republicans do this too. Don't get me wrong. They do it too. Different issues, different reasons, different ways. They do it too. But it just was so crystal clear. That's kind of why I did it, right? It was just that crystal clear. I thought that was the best point. So, yes. All right. What don't rich white women on CNN know? That's funny. Yes. Everyone loves the blame game, easier than knowing the solution, working on a solution. Yes. Absolutely, Susan. You are correct. Absolutely. Yes. Living in upstate New York, not you, Larry, the dumb idiot who is yakking about her stupidity. Upstate New York gets screwed over every damn day by Cuomo. Upstate does not do well by Cuomo. Some of the cities are okay. Some of them are. But a lot of them, they're really doing poorly. I agree completely. Andrew says, a lie repeated enough becomes fact. That seems to be the strategy across the establishment. Yeah, you keep saying it. And what happens often is one side, one show says it, then they bring someone else on it, and then they ask for reaction, right? That's why there are three people talking here. If just one of them said, let me tell you how bad DeSantis is, and he's evil, and he's a racist, and he hates black people, or whatever she would say, we'd go, really? Is that true? But I got three people. Well, how could that be wrong? Three people. How could that be wrong? And as silly as that sounds, that kind of is how it works, right? People will start thinking, well, if everyone's saying it, can it really be wrong? I think that's what you find happening here. So I do appreciate that. Nothing came out of Fauci's mouth was an order, but everyone treated them as orders and they realized the problem. Keith, good point. Good point. In a way, I don't mind that. And what I mean by that is, if people chose to take it as an order, meaning they treated it like an order because they believed him and thought he was savvy and smart, versus they feared that they'd be punished because it was an order. Keith, if you think Fauci has all the answers, good on you, man. I think you should follow him to the best of your ability. But if you were worried that the cops are going to come, or your shop is going to get shut down, or the government's going to fine you, or whatever, that's my problem. I don't mind if you want to believe Fauci. Awesome. Good on you. My problem is always the same. Mandate. That's the same. Joe says, Florida businesses are hiring. I like that. Maybe we should head on down there. I'm going to head down to Florida now. Absolutely. That's good. So Michael says, vitamin C and D help me weather COVID. My whole family, actually, way back in August. I won't be taking the vaccine without an antibody test first. My sister had it because an audiologist who works in nursing home said she had it too. I heard a story. I don't know if this is true. I do not know if this is true, but people have been telling me this, and I think it's from what countries you're talking about. Someone told me that when you get COVID, what winds up happening is your antioxidants just get sucked out of you. And if you overflow your body with antioxidants with easy ways like vitamin C, that it's very hard to overdose on vitamin C, so people can take massive amounts of it because it's really hard to overdose on vitamin C, and your body gets rid of it, right? So you can do that. So you kind of OD on vitamin C, your body keeps the antioxidants, and it's how you get through COVID without dying. A doctor I met in Long Island told me this. I have no idea. I'm just telling you a story. Take it any way you want. But a doctor told me that if you flood your body with vitamin C, he said that his patients who had COVID, when he flooded them with vitamin C, nobody died. That it still affected them harsh. It was still real. But he said he lost not one patient that he flooded with vitamin C. And vitamin C is what he used. He used vitamin C. I've heard people talk about vitamin C and D. So I don't know. It's a good point. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I guess it can't hurt to take vitamin C or D if you have COVID. So there we go. Gene says, I take vitamins and I wash my hands. I do it consistently. I wash my hands constantly. It's true. I'm almost at OCD level, right? Almost. So I don't rinse the soap off until I've lathered long enough to sing the entire alphabet like kids. Just like I taught my kids. Yes, kids, same thing. Absolutely. Yes, 100%. So, Larry, what's in the hoodie you're wearing? It's my Larry Sharpe for Governor hoodie. I still have it. I got this given to me by a lovely woman named Maria. This was a gift. I love it so much. I wore it so much it actually ripped. I took it to a tailor so I could get it sewn back together because I love this one so much. It's all old. It's got my picture on the back and love this thing so much. It's my Larry Sharpe for Governor hoodie. Thank you, Maria, for the gift if you happen to be watching. I love it. I wear it all the time. Again, I wore it so much it got holes in it. I took it to a tailor to get sewed up because it's like emotional attachment to it also because I got it on campaign, the gift from a supporter. So I love it. So I wear it all the time. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yes. So, Officer Carlton Tatum. You remember that? I know that was good. I know that was a good one last night. Yes. Fauci and Rand Paul debated mask mandate for vaccinated people. I think Fauci is experiencing some cognitive dissonance and being overly cautious without bearing responsibility for lockdown damages. I would buy that. I think it's true. And I'll go back to the first piece about Sam. A lot of people would have taken on the mask mandate on their own. A lot of people would have, particularly if they were older and had a pre-existing condition. You would probably want to make sure that, he says you would be as safe as possible if you were in that 55 and older with a pre-existing condition. You probably would go nuts and make sure, right? I think you should. Yes. So, I don't have a party. You have to vote on individual leader. There's too much trash out there hiding. I agree. Absolutely. I agree. Yes. So all good. Of course, I have a party. I am libertarian. Kinda. I am. It's true. Yes. Let's see here. I don't care if you yell at the left or the right. My participation in your live cast is limited due to the NHL schedule. Go Bolts. All right, brother. I'm glad you are in Florida, obviously. Yes. I love that. That's great. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. And Joe, of course, let's go Rangers. I appreciate that. Yes. I'll need to smoke some onions to listen to more. Appreciate that too. Absolutely. Yes. I still use the phrase, don't blame me. I voted for Larry Sharpe. That's awesome. Guys, I want to ask a favor of you if I can. I ask you all the time, and I have to ask you again. If you want to like what I'm doing, then do me a favor. Click on that link, the pandemic survey link right there in the description. Go there. Take 3-5 minutes. Fill out the pandemic survey. We're talking about it right now, the pandemic, right? What do you think about mask mandates, lockdowns, all those things? What's your opinion? Where would you think? How should it happen? Where should it go? Please take it, complete it, and share it. It's free. There's no cost. It's free. It makes my sponsors happy, which makes me happy. My sponsors are theadvocates.org. Please head there, click this link, take that. It is free, and it helps me tremendously. Please do that. It helps me move forward. They are my sponsor. Of course, always like, comment, and share. If you've got some cash, you got your Biden bucks. Did you get your Biden bucks already? If you're getting your Biden bucks, do me a favor. If you got some cash, throw some my way. Head over to patreon.com/sharpeway. The link is also there. Click that link. Go right over there. Throw me $10 a month. If you got big bucks, throw me $25 a month. If you got it, I hope you do. If you don't have it, no worries. This helps me move forward. If you want me to keep doing this and you want me to keep responding, you want me to keep giving you this type of content, please support me that way, or just take the survey. That's free. Totally free to coach a dime. Keeps my sponsors happy. And last, always like, comment, share. That's how we get past all of the shadow banning and such. We get past all of that stuff. So great. Yes. So John says, LMAO, that's pretty white when you capitalize the W. Yes. If it's super white, then it's all caps white. Yes, that's the special spot, right? Yeah, extra white is with the capital W. Super white, all caps. That makes it extra bad, I guess, right? I guess so. Yes, I love that. Elderly people do tend to be richer. That's true. They tend to have more money. Yes, I wish I was rich as the people who worked twice as long as I have. There we go. Yes, 100%, 100%. Yes. Let's see here. The issue was where the target communities that were recommended first, as well as access. I think he did it, but it makes sense why he would. Look at what he said about people to get an idea of who he is. I'm unsure where you were going with that one. I'm not sure about that one. Sorry, I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Avi says the funny part about Tatum's beef with Maj is that many conservatives such as Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, and Charlie Kirk, TPS, affiliated with Candace Owens, his darling Candace Owens had Maj on her show and agreed on many of his points. Also, this Carlton and Will thing is silly. Black people, like any people, are different, and to say that two groups is shallow stereotyping. It appears Tatum was simply blowing smoke with no idea what he was saying because he doesn't like Maj. And that was my point. I didn't have any. For those of you who don't know, I did a show last night on Officer Tatum. He has a beef with Maj Touré. I didn't care about Officer Tatum at all. I didn't. Whatever he does his word, whatever, do his thing. But he went out of his way to disrespect several of those people who went to CPAC. Maj was one of them. I respect Maj. I respect Stanton King too. I know them. I've been on panels with them before. And he went out of his way to just completely diss them. I didn't like it. So I had to show him that you shouldn't do that. That's all that was, right? If he hadn't done that, I would have never done anything. I don't care. Whatever. He does what he wants. Good on him. Got an audience, making money. Good on him. But he went too far, and I didn't like it, so I did what I did. Yeah, he should have just said nothing. He could have said nothing. If he would have said nothing, I would have said nothing. This would not have happened. As far as I can say, he shot first. There's my answer. He shot first. So whatever that means, he shot first. Okay. Those donors approve of DeSantis handling of Florida during the pandemic. It's their money. They can give it to who they want. I agree completely. The left is grooming her to run against DeSantis. Is that right? There we go. It's not a bad thing, right? She has statewide street cred. Woman, not a bad deal for the Democrats. That's not, if that's true, Branko, if you're right, it's not bad. That's a smart move. It's probably a smart move. Yes. So I'm grab a couple more if I can. I wonder why the woman in the top left is wearing a kimono and her hair is in the bun like a geisha. Ooh, is she culturally appropriating? Brandon, did you see that? Got to write her a letter. We got to tweet her. Absolutely. Yes. Paula says, wow, you mean having money and assets can make life easier? Who knew? Maybe we should try spreading some of that prosperity around by getting government regulations off our neck. Paula, yes. I like how you think. Why don't we give lots of other people prosperity so lots of people can be wealthy and we can all scam and we can all scam each other and get the vaccine extra fast. Yes. Jeanette says, yes, a Florida friend of mine has more hours than she can keep up with. Wow, that is great. I'm a little bit jealous about that. Another one has calls coming every week asking could she consider working again, and even a temp gig. Both stand to make decent dollars. I love that. Absolutely. I love that. Yes, very good. So, reopen America. So I'm so over these middle-based statistics. I agree completely. Yes, 100%. I would like to open these things up. Sam says, fact, if you don't have COVID, you don't spread it, mask or no. True. Fact 2, reinfection for people who had COVID or vaccines has been less than a handful in 1 million plus. Ergo, why mask the vaxxed? Good question. I agree. I actually had some people here who in New York City who are vaccinated. They don't wear masks anymore. They don't. They're like, I don't have to. If I remember the rule, I think it's 6 months to a year you get immunity or something like that with the vaccine they took. It's something like that they know. So it's a good point. Why do you? They're talking about that though. Still keeping masks forever. It is a serious problem. It really is. Absolutely. So, all right. She's all over the place. That's true. Absolutely. Yes. I can't take it. I can't take it. All right, guys. I'm going to jump with you, Tom. We can't take it anymore. I hope this was interesting for you. I hope it was fun. Again, as always, if you can help out, please do so. Take the survey. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. Share it everywhere. Makes my sponsors happy. It's free. If you've got some cash, you like what I'm doing, throw it my way. It's awesome. No matter what, please like, comment, and share this around. And I will see you guys all tomorrow.